Yeah, and everybody's like, "Ooh, Diddy's going to be I don't know. He might get off
When are they going to deliberate and reach a verdict?
on Friday or Monday."
So we may know by next week.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get off because he can't get any baby oil in jail.
Navigating through the chaos of these modern days. Lost in the radio.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Radio Labyrinth.
And thank you to everybody who watched last week's episode. Dustin, great job putting that together. It was fun. I love talking about all those movie clips and all the sound bites that we grew up memorizing because we watched the movie 800,000 times. And we'll read some of the ones you submitted later. We didn't get very many, but of course, later on in the show, we'll read your YouTube comments and such and so forth. How's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing?
He was just wonderful on the radio.
Talking about radio, one of my radio heroes announced last week that he is retiring from the radio business. He's 84 years old, so I figure he's done enough. It's time to get some Trident gum and some quiet odor-free garlic tablets and relax a little bit. Of course, I'm talking about Doctor Demento. You guys, now Dustin, I tried to find out. I don't know that they had Doctor Demento on the air here. Do you remember?
I only remember Dr. Demento popping into pop culture in the mid 80s. I kind of went in backwards. I went through Weird Al to Dr. Demento and not the other way around.
The same with me.
Yeah. Oh, because you were kids in the 80s. Little kids, actually. Lizzie, you're the youngest, aren't you? You're what, 22?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll be 23.
Okay. Happy birthday.
But yeah. Thank you.
I first saw Dr. Demento. There was a pseudo-reality comedy show in the early 80s on NBC called Real People. And I watched it every week because it was fun. And of course, my mom watched it, which is, if she didn't, I wouldn't be able to watch it. Skip Stevenson, Byron Allen, Sarah Purcell, John something or other. I don't remember all the hosts.
Davidson.
No, John Davidson was on
That's Incredible.
That's Incredible with Fran Tarkenton and Kathy Crosby.
Yeah, you're right.
But Dr. Demento, they did a feature on him, and I was already like, as long as I can remember, I've dug radio, and I'm like, this guy's a radio guy, and he plays comedy songs. They did this whole thing in his studio, and then I found out we had a station in our town, or nearby our town, called WLVY in Elmira, New York, that aired the Doctor Demento show every Sunday night. So that became my Sunday night. I'd get all my stuff done, and usually I was coming back from my dad's house, and from 10 to midnight, or whenever it was on, I think it was 10 to midnight, I would listen to the Doctor Demento show.
Wind up your radio. Westwood One presents the Doctor Demento Show. 2 hours of mad music and crazy comedy from out of the archives and off the wall.
All those funny songs.
Smoke a J, listen to some Dr. D.
Go down and shovel up all the dog poop in the basement and navigate all the dog pee on the orange shag carpet, and then head back to my messy room with all the holes in it from punching it from anger, and covered up with various posters. But I got really into that show, and I would record it every week, and then I'd make my own mixtapes from all the songs. So it wasn't just Weird Al, but he's the guy that discovered Weird Al. Weird Al started sending him comedy songs in the 70s. And then by 79, he had another one, Rides the Bus, and My Bologna. Those became big hits, at least on Dr. Demento and on his radio show. But what's his actual name? Yes, his name is Barry Hansen. And he got started, he never really left L.A. He studied musicology at UCLA, and he had a vast knowledge of music history, including these obscure genres. He began hosting his radio show in Pasadena, and that's where he came up with Dr. Demento. It was novelty songs, comedy records, stuff like that. He had a cult following, and then he got picked up by KMET in L.A. and then went national. And kids, boys especially, because let's face it, most in the 80s geek culture was mostly guys, right? Now it's everybody, but
pretty much. Yeah,
that's where you're introduced to Tom Lehrer.
All the world seems in tune on a spring afternoon when we're poisoning pigeons in the park.
Alan Sherman.
You remember
Jeffrey Hardy. They're about to organize a searching party.
And a whole bunch of other obscure acts that nobody ever talks about today. And Weird Al. So Weird Al's first album comes out, and then in 1984, In 3D comes out, and he has his parody of Beat It called Eat It, and then the rest is history. Al's huge. He's a huge star and a touring star. He still tours today. Jeff, how many times? You've seen him more than I have, but you and I have seen him, what, 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, I think I've seen him like 5 times.
Nowadays, he just does a medley of all of his, hits and stuff right now, right?
Well, yeah, he plays like smaller shows now.
Yeah. That one, we saw him at the where did we see him? We saw him at Cobb Energy, right? And that's when he went out into the audience. He had all the stormtroopers. He did all the different outfits. He puts on the fat from Fat. But it is weird that Dr. Demento has been around for as long as he's been around. And now he's retiring, 84 years old. What is his legacy? Are there still novelty songs? We talked about this last week with the catchphrases and quotes from movies and things that, we repeat over and over. What happened to that? Where are these songs? Well, now they all exist again on social media.
There are still people or artists that kind of carry that over, and you kind of have to stretch your idea of a novelty song. But I mean, with things like Tenacious D.
Yeah.
I mean, those Lonely Island. There's a lot of people that use music for comedy now, and that's kind of, novelty's not really a niche that has boundaries. So, I mean, you can kind of play with it how you want to.
Yeah, and Tenacious D, their songs were funny on their albums. And The Lonely Island, a lot of that stuff is super funny. My favorite being the one with Michael Bolton.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh, yeah.
But for Dr. Demento, I was just one of those nerds who worshiped the guy. In 1987, I left a message because he had a phone line you could call and leave a message, and it was a long distance number. So I had to time it for when my mom paid the phone bill, and I was able to make a long distance call. And I left the message, and I found out that my request was going to be on the air. So I wanted to hear it, but I ended up going out to a friend's house outside of town where they didn't get the radio station. So I never had a good recording of it until, you remember news groups, Usenet news groups?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I found this guy in the Dr. Demento news group who had every show archived. And so I sent him a message and I said, hey, could you find this specific show? And lo and behold, I found it. So I put it on YouTube years ago. I requested a song specifically that I thought he would play because he hadn't played it in a while. And it worked.
Dr. Demento request line. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Demento. I'm Tim Andrews, and I listen to you on 94 Rock WOVY. I live in Mansfield, PA. I want you to play It's Sister Jenny's Time to Build Up. Bomb! Good explosion there,
And then I got a T-shirt and a little sticker and a whole bunch of stuff. T-shirt was too small, so I never wore it.
Do you still have it?
No, I don't have it anymore. I wish I did, but I wore it to school one time and it was just way too tight.
Come on! Do it! Come on! Do it!
I'm like, I can't wear this. But I thought it would be fun to talk about some of the novelty songs that we all liked. Oh, and I also met him. I think it was the 25th anniversary of his show. He was doing a tour, and it was near Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was this venue next to this amusement park called Dutch Wonderland. And he did this whole show where he played songs and he talked, and he did all of his honk honk.
I remember seeing him on Letterman.
Yeah.
For folks who may not have heard of you or the radio show, what kind of things do you do on it?
I play demented music. Spike Jones, Monty Python, Frank Zappa, Weird Al Yankovic. Well,
and he did the Tonight. I mean, he did all the all the standard shows, and he has such an iconic look.
He looks like he sounds.
Yeah, it just does. It matches exactly how he's like. Yeah, that voice comes out of that guy for sure.
And sort of, you can tell people who listen to him. I don't know if they have a reverence for him, but there's that Mr. Show bit where they're investigating the monster songs, and his name is Doctor Retarded, and it's Bob Odenkirk, and he's in his mom's kitchen.
Halloween Shindig by Ed Twilly and the Creepers.
And then, of course, the Weird Al movie from a couple years ago, Rainn Wilson played him as like he was the Burt Reynolds character in Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights, yeah. That party scene was great in that movie.
With all the people there. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Brian
Conan,
May.
Yeah. And Conan as who did Conan play? He played
Andy Warhol.
Yeah, Andy Warhol.
A very, very good movie. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
I didn't know, I watched it when it first came out, and I didn't know it was like and I should have known that it was going to be like a parody of his life.
Right.
So that made it that much more funny to me, because I was like, it gets more and more absurd with each scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like real, and I was like, this is ridiculous. So
it was better that way. If it had been real, it would have been a little boring.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I loved it. I thought it was great.
So I looked into it to try to find out what is actually considered to be the first novelty song. And, to ChatGPT. And it's something called The Laughing Song by George W. Johnson from 1890. And then another one they said was Yes, We Have No Bananas by Frank Silver and Irving Cohn from 1923. Now, I haven't heard the original, but I know that song, Yes, We Have No Bananas. Do you guys know that one?
Yeah.
That one I know is on Spotify because it's in Gilbert's novelty song. I'm getting Gilbert loves these novelty songs and show tunes.
That's awesome. I think the first one I ever heard was when I was super little. I mean, I'm assuming it's considered parody, but it's The Flying Saucer from 1956. My dad still has the album.
The Flying Saucer from 1956? I don't know that one.
It's made by Luniverse Records. It's like real songs, but they're reporting on it. So it's weird.
So that's sort of like, what is it? Bobby Pickett, who did all those, we're here on the beach.
Mr. Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad, he showed it to me the other day. He still owns it, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is cool. But you'll know some of these. From the 1960s, you have Alan Sherman, Hello Mutta, Hello Fada. Ray Stevens with a song that no one will play now, Ahab the Arab.
Mm-hmm.
Napoleon the 14th, They're Coming to Take Me Away, haha.
Oh,
yeah, I know that one.
That one I did always associate with Dr. Demento.
Yeah.
Yes, that was kind of like the theme song in my head.
That's the Funny Farm one, right?
Yeah. They're coming to
Yeah.
take me away, haha, ho, ho, hee.
The happy.
My older sister Candace used to put me outside by the rabbit cage at night and tell me the Funny Farm was coming to take me. So that song always scared the crap out of me.
Shaving Cream by Benny Bell, which became a hit because of Dr. Demento. He sang it later on. You had Purple People Eater, Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. Now, these were all songs that were sort of in that rock and roll genre. Then you go to the 70s. Ray Stevens comes out with The Streak, which is a huge hit. I think it went to number 1. Disco Duck by Rick Dees, which was the top 10 single. C.W. McCall, Convoy. One of my favorites from that era is Larry Groch's Junk Food Junkie. You guys know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't consider number 2 to be a novelty song.
Kung Fu Fighting?
Yeah, I never thought of Kung Fu Fighting as, I mean, it is ridiculous, the song,
right,
but I never really considered it novelty. I always thought it was just a
song about Kung Fu
song. Yeah,
right,
because it was so big in the 70s.
Right.
Kung Fu was.
Dead Puppies by Ogden Edsel. That one I love. I haven't put that in Gilbert's yet because he doesn't need to hear that. He has heard Fish Heads and likes it when Daddy sings that by Barnes and Barnes. Here's one that's also in his novelty playlist, Eddie Murphy's Boogie in Your Butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like put a dinosaur bone in your butt, put a little tiny man in your butt.
Yeah.
You telling me that you're going to pay me to put things in people's butt? Really? Step aside. Telephone Man by Mary Wilson is a sweet, funny song.
Yeah.
If you've never heard it, check it out. One Piece at a Time by Johnny Cash. I never considered that a novelty song, but it is. So is A Boy Named Sue, by the way, because it was written by, Shel Silverstein?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This one I don't know. Energy Crisis 74, but it's Dickie Goodman, so I can imagine. There's an energy crisis, and then here's a bunch of songs. Earache My Eye by Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
Classic.
That's
Yeah.
And, of course, My Bologna. And all the novelty songs of the 80s are pretty much dominated by Weird Al. Pac-Man Fever was a big hit. Buckner and Garcia. Valley Girl which is Zappa's only charting single, I think, was a novelty song. And I used to drive the local radio stations crazy requesting it. Kip Adada's Wet Dream, which is nothing but puns and one of my favorites of all time. Fix the damn thing and keep my private life out of it. Rock Me Jerry Lewis by Mike Elliott and Bud Latour, which is a parody of Rock Me Amadeus, and actually is a better song than Rock Me Amadeus. I don't know the rest of these. There's a couple that are left off of here. Rappin' Rodney, that was one of Jeff's favorites. In fact, Jeff did, you guys might not remember this, there was a short period in the 80s when lip syncing was a huge thing. They had a TV show.
Oh, yeah, putting on the hits.
Yes, and they did a live thing at the old movie theater in the town next to us called Wellsboro, and Jeff did Rappin' Rodney and did a good job. Or did you get booed off? I forget.
No, I did it.
Is there any video evidence?
No.
Oh, man.
It would be great if there were. And then this, in the 90s again, Weird Al, Amish Paradise, The Saga Begins, which is amazing. The parody of American Pie, which gave you the whole
the fact that he never saw the movie when he wrote it is what's amazing to me.
Yes, but the whole thing spoils the movie.
Yeah, I know. It's the entire movie, like the entire plot of the movie, but he hadn't seen the movie when he wrote it. I guess he was just reading spoilers or something. I don't know, but he did a great job with it. And speaking of Weird Al, by the way, Jeff and I saw his big movie, his only movie, really, UHF, when it came out. And that was a fun day because we went to a construction place where they were making houses and smoked a bowl. And then we drove over to the movie theater and did whippets because there's no one else in the theater but us.
That was one of those first VHS tapes that we ever got when we got a VCR. Was UHF.
Yeah, I think I saw it at a sleepover one night. It was probably like 10 or 12, something like that.
It says on this list that King Missile's Detachable Penis was a novelty song. I do remember.
Detachable Penis.
Yeah, so that's, again, I don't think that was a novelty song. That was just King Missile.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Would a song like What the Fox Says be considered a novelty song?
I would think so.
For sure.
That's a good one.
Al found this guy. Well, and so did Bella. His name is Froggy Fresh. And this was like, he was at first was Krispy Kreme, and then Krispy Kreme was like, you got to drop the name or we're going to sue you. So now he goes by Froggy Fresh. But this is his work like 12 years ago, and it seems like it's just a bunch of kids in a neighborhood making funny songs and videos. But he does like rap, and it's really like he does a Power Rangers one. He does a Just Got Dunked On. That's really funny. It's a basketball one. But yeah, me and Al laugh at those all the time. Now he does songs that he's like, turning your husband's gay. So Al doesn't listen to that stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
But he's older now. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I would consider that parody.
I'm using that AI app to make songs for Gilbert to cheer him up if he's in a bad mood. Like I made one yesterday listing all the things that he likes and some of the things that he doesn't like.
That's fun.
He digs that, and I asked him to help me write a song, but he doesn't really get it yet. He will eventually.
Al wrote a rap about poop.
Nice.
And then at the end of it, it goes, "You just got poop schooled. Thanks for coming to class."
Jeff, you want to tell everybody what happened at the Punchline the other night? By the way, Comedy Club etiquette. Learn it, live it. Don't deviate from the norm.
Learn it, know it, live it.
Yeah, we went and saw Chris Hardwick and Mike Furman at the Punchline, and the people at the table next to us, well, one person at the table next to us would not stop talking the entire show out loud.
Right.
That's so gross.
No inside voice at all. No whisper. Nothing.
Were they talking to the other people at the table, or
they were
just
talking
the stage?
Talking to the other people at their table.
That's even worse.
And they got warned like 5 times, and she still would not stop. I don't know if she was drunk or something was wrong with her or what, but she would not stop talking out loud.
And I said something to her, and then her husband or boyfriend gave me mean mugs. Like he could have killed me, that guy. I was so scared after I said it, but I was pissed.
Yeah, that's not cool. That's not okay.
Yeah, they finally kicked him out, but Tim said they got in line to come back into the next show.
They were in the front of the line. Wow. Either that or they were waiting to beat up everybody that worked there.
I know it's more acceptable to do that, like at if you're at a bar and there's a musician there.
Oh yeah, you can talk.
But I still, if there's a bunch of people around me talking very loudly while my child's playing, I'm like, shut up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you don't want this. I've been drunk, though, at clubs. I embarrassed myself at Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang. I think.
Well, that's different when you're heckling.
Yeah, but I was just yelling out Saturday Night Live quotes, and Norm stopped his routine and went, "Hey, and this guy, he likes Saturday Night Live."
Yeah, I made the mistake of heckling. Well, it wasn't a mistake. I did it on purpose, but I heckled Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, dude, did he tear you apart?
Yeah, he told me I was the kind of, he goes, stand up. And I stood up and he goes, this is the kind of guy that likes to watch other men piss at the urinal. I was like, at the time, I was just like, yeah.
The first time I ever heckled a comedian, I was at a comedy club in Pittsburgh and there was a magician. So already I was like, oh, God. And he said something, and it was just perfect timing. He said, you know, it'd be funny. You know, it'd be funny. And he paused, and no one was saying anything. I said, you know, it'd be funny if you were funny. Or maybe I said, you know, it would be magic if you were funny. Something like that. Everybody in the crowd laughed, and the guy gave me a dirty look. Other than that, I told it on Trambles the time we were seeing Jim Norton, and I told him to piss on a bridal party. But it is annoying when people won't shut up. You remember that band Squeeze? I was seeing that band Squeeze at the Variety Playhouse with my friend Beth, and there was two guys in front of us who would not stop talking. They're British. That doesn't mean anything. But they just kept talking loudly. And I said, excuse me, would you please stop talking? We're here to enjoy this show. And he goes, what? We can't have a chat. And I said, yeah, if you go outside.
I just think it's incredibly rude. Like somebody's putting themselves on the stage out there, which is scary in itself.
Yeah.
And anything can mess up your set. So if you're hearing loud voices or, you know, you might bomb or you might completely just veer off your set to deal with this heckler. And then what you were planning on saying to make people laugh, even though it still might be funny, is gone.
Yeah.
I just think it's incredibly rude. I can't stand it.
We saw Carlin once at the Fox Theater, and he had a heckler thrown out. I remember that. You were there. We were way in the back, remember?
Yeah. Remember when we saw Rich Hall? And every time he said McDonald's, that lady would scream?
No, I don't remember that. What did he say?
Because she worked at McDonald's. So he has that joke about blaming stuff for what's wrong with the country. It's like blaming Ronald McDonald when you get a bad cheeseburger. But every time he said McDonald's, that lady would scream, and it ended up taking like 5 minutes off the show because he kept trying to do the joke, and every time she would scream. And then he finally got her to stop. And then I screamed when he did it the last time. And everybody cracked up.
Hey, stop that. I was talking to Caleb Sinan the other day. I interviewed him for my Popcast show on WSB. And we were talking about, I told him a little bit about the heckling. And I said, you know, I always used to get drunk and talk to the comics afterwards and embarrass myself, like with Harlan Williams and Jim Gaffigan. So embarrassing. But the one time I said, you know, I go to sleep sometimes listening to comedy records. And I told Todd Barry that once. I said, yeah, I go to sleep to your records sometimes. He goes, oh, I'm glad I'm funny enough for you to fall asleep to. And I didn't mean it that way. I'd listen to comedy going to bed as well.
I think he probably didn't mean it that way either. Yeah. That's just his comic reflex.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, his post-pandemic special doesn't get enough love. It's very funny. Check it out. I think it's like short hair, some domestic short hair is what it's called.
Yeah.
Who is this Mike Furman guy? I don't know who he is. How long has he been with Chris Hardwick?
They've been doing stuff together for a long time. They've been best friends, I guess, for like 30 years.
Oh, wow.
But he does like comedy music.
Mm-hmm.
So Hardwick would have him on shows that he did. I don't know. He might have been on Talking Dead.
Right.
And a few other things. But they play as a band called Hard and Firm.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I hope they check out Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah, you recommended it to him.
Right up their alley, man. All right, well, you know, don't yell out at comedy clubs.
Just don't talk in your fucking regular tone of voice.
No, or don't look at your, don't be texting and staring at your phone either. Those lights and everything. I don't like that either.
This program for a special news bulletin.
We interrupt programming to bring you this breaking news bulletin.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. We interrupt this program to bring you this bulletin. Here's some stories that we've been following at the Radio Labyrinth news desk.
All right, let's do some quick hits. Who wants to go first?
Me. The boys finished filming the final season.
When's that air?
Soon, I think.
This is it?
Yeah, final season.
What about that show at the school?
That's still going.
When's that on?
That'll probably come back before The Boys does.
It's supposed to come back this fall, I thought.
Okay. Well, that's good. I love The Boys. Do you watch
I've
that?
never watched The Boys. I hear it's really good, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the new documentary on
It just
Netflix?
came out, didn't it? I haven't watched it yet.
It came out last night.
I want to watch it.
Yeah,
Al's so excited about that documentary.
Yeah, it's called
I think
Trainwreck. Trainwreck, the Poop Cruise.
What?
There was a Carnival cruise a couple of years ago that there was an engine room fire, and because of that fire, it shut the power and everything down on the ship for 4 days. They couldn't get off, but it also released all of the toilets, and so it flooded the entire ship with fecal matter.
Oh.
And these people had to live for 4 days with no working kitchens or anything else. And it was a nightmare. And they created, Netflix went through and created this documentary about it. And the people that were on the ship that are now seeing the documentary, it's starting to give them PTSD and trauma, and they're complaining about it.
Yeah, aren't they saying like that doesn't give it justice? Like it was so much worse than what you're showing right now. I might throw myself off the ship if I was in that situation.
Get the lifeboat's going.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even take a lifeboat. I'd just go. See ya. But yeah, Al's really excited about. He's been counting down the days. He's like poop cruise, probably because it involves the word poop.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch it with Gil. Poop Cruise. That's a boat, Daddy, with poop in it.
Al likes documentaries, so that's good.
That is awesome. FX is nearing a pilot order for a project inspired by Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein. Currently, it is titled Very Young Frankenstein. Brooks will serve as an executive producer on the project, along with Kevin Salter. Stephanie Robinson, Taika Waititi, and Garrett Bosch will also be producing it. So
that's the same producers that did What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all the news there is about this, but that's exciting. And I hope it's black and white, by the way.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Whether it's a prequel or...
It's got to be a prequel, right?
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
So stay alive, Mel.
Brooks has got momentum again.
Yeah.
With everything, so.
Diddy Stuff. Diddy Stuff. Diddy Stuff.
I'm doing Diddler till the end, and it's almost over, okay? I wasn't going to do it, and then I was like, I have to. They just rested. So the prosecution rested, the defense rested. They rested. The defense rested their case within 30 minutes. No witnesses or anything. It was just pretty much text messages showing consent.
Mm-hmm.
Diddy talk. The judge was like, you can testify if you want. He's like, yes, and you're doing a great job, and I understand, and I don't want to testify. Thank you, for doing what you're doing. And then they dropped 3 charges, but it's not as big as like everybody's thinking. Like they dropped attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, and aiding and abetting. And they did this to simplify what the jury has to go through, but that doesn't mean that there's still kidnapping, there's still arson, and they just took away those three charges.
If you take away the attempted ones, that way they can focus on the actual charge, the full charge for each of those.
Yeah. And everybody's like, "Ooh, Diddy's going to be out." I don't know. He might get off.
When are they going to deliberate and reach a verdict?
Friday or Monday? I'm not sure.
So we may know by next week.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get off because he can't get any baby oil in jail.
I love that it came out that he put all of his baby oil that he was going to use in humidors in his house. So you open up these, $20,000 humidors, and it's just lined with Johnson & Johnson.
Jones was like, that picture's not real. That's in a safe. Why would he put baby oil in a safe? I'm like, that's a humidor.
Yeah.
I don't know why. 30 minutes is pretty quick. I guess they decided that they did enough through cross-examination.
Right. Or is it, prosecute someone for a kink?
Yeah, I was going to say, or should Homeland Security be doing something else with their time?
They got nothing going on. Not that I'm aware of. All right. Well, thank you. Let's do some views or snooze.
Views.
Or.
And snooze.
Last week was Marooned, which I watched the first one. It's pretty good.
Alone?
It's like Alone.
Mm-hmm.
He has more supplies than I thought he would, but it's pretty good.
Just one guy?
Yeah, and he's by himself, and he's got like drones and stuff to film him. Gilded Age, which I watched the first one of those, still good. And The Bear, which I haven't watched yet, but it comes out today or tomorrow.
Do you guys like The Bear? I've never seen The Bear.
Oh, yeah. The
But it
first
looks
couple of
good.
seasons are amazing.
Yeah.
It's the first one.
Season 3 wasn't that great, but I like it. All right, this week, Smoke starts on Apple TV. This is by Dennis Lehane who did Mystic River and The Wire.
Oh, cool.
Writer on The Wire. It's a true crime story about an arsonist. Looks pretty good.
It's from a podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Firebug podcast. I remember that one was popular.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm going to use it. Squid Game final season comes back on the 27th.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Then so they did obviously film both those seasons at the same time.
Yeah, I'm
Just
sure.
split them up.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can talk about it, and I'll be humble.
Yeah, I never got to the second one.
You guys should watch it. It's good.
First one was good, but yeah, I like the ending of it.
Me too.
Yeah. And Nautilus starts on AMC on the 29th. This is a show that Disney Plus originally ordered, but then they dropped it to save money. So AMC picked it up. It's like a prequel to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, that's
cool. It looks pretty good. I'm going to use it.
Had AMC. All right. Thank you, Jeff. Let's do our staff picks. Now, Jeff, I'm kind of jealous that you had this because now I want it and there isn't an Arby's on the way home.
Yeah, I got that new Angus cheesesteak from Arby's. It was surprisingly good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I told Jones to pick one up on his way home tonight.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, I was like, Jeff says it's good. Maybe we could have one in our fridge when he's at our pool. I don't know.
It's not Jersey Mike's good, but for Arby's, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, Arby's sometimes will surprise you with one of their sandwiches.
Yeah.
I like their French dip.
Yeah, the French dip's good there, too.
Yeah, when I was pregnant, that's pretty much, I would eat that a whole lot.
It's called the Arby's new Angus cheesesteak.
All right. If you haven't done it yet, go to Tucker and try Nikki's Undefeated. That is my favorite cheesesteak in town.
Better than Fred's Meat and Bread?
What's it called? Nikki's Undefeated?
Different. Yeah, Nikki's Undefeated.
N-I-K-K?
N-I-C-K-Y. It's on Main Street in Tucker. They have their cheesesteaks are so good because of the cheese they use. It's called Cooper cheese. Like you can get any cheese on it, but this is sharp American cheese and it's melted. And you can also get it to dip your fries in.
No, nice.
Another place that's really good you should try is on Moreland. It's Uncle Philly's.
I've heard of Uncle Philly's.
Yeah, their TikTok and Reels are just amazing. I'm going to check them out. Hopefully in the next week or so. But I was speaking of Arby's. Did you guys know that Ving Rhames is the voice of Arby's stuff?
Yeah.
Did you know that he wrote something in his contract? So he makes every time those commercials play, he makes residuals.
Good for him.
He said he's made more money off Arby's than any movie he's ever been on, including all the Mission Impossible stuff.
Arnold came out. It's coming out this week that Arnold said he made $40 million because of his back end deal for Twins.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, who was interviewing him?
I don't know. He's been doing a lot. I just saw it in a news feed, but he has been doing a lot of different shows. And like The View, shut up, bitches.
Because the FUBAR just came back for season 2, so he's been making the rounds.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Let's see. My staff pick is another movie. Again, another one I've picked up on 4K. It's from 1977. It's called Sorcerer.
Yeah.
And
we've talked about this before.
Yeah, Roy Scheider. Francisco Rabal. It was directed by William Friedkin.
Yeah.
It's a cool, interesting movie. It's kind of went under the radar. A lot of people have never seen it, but it's about these different people that move to Central America to get away from something, owing money to people. And these guys kind of collectively meet up down there. And they have to get a supply of dynamite from basically, travel through all this jungle and take it to this place. And if they do that, it'll be enough money for all of them to get out of their problems. But the problem is it's old dynamite that could blow up at any moment.
Man.
And they're on 2 ancient trucks. And so they've got to get it through all these rickety bridges and mud and everything else, and it could blow up at any time. I mean, it's a really good movie, but I've kind of been on a Roy Scheider kick lately. I'm just
That's
I
like
can't
that
find a
Lost
movie of
episode.
his I don't like.
What Lost episode?
Yeah,
the
where
Lost
that dude
episode where they
blew
have
up,
to carry
yeah.
the dynamite that's sweating through the jungle on really old.
Yeah, they probably kind of
And
pulled
that dude from the River's Edge blew up.
The murderer? Was that the one that was in there?
John? I don't know.
And played Grandpa Munster in that horrible Rob Zombie Munster movie.
Oh yeah, that I actually couldn't get through that.
Holy shit, it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me sad because I had high hopes for it.
Daniel Roebuck is that guy's name.
Daniel Roebuck, yeah.
Yeah. I did the weird Al Yankovic story. We watched it again last night. Well, I watched it with Al last night.
That's crazy. I didn't know. I was watching something. I guess it was a Weird Al little doc on it. But he said that I didn't know that pool scene, they did the whole thing in one day.
Wow.
And one take. Most things in one take.
With all those people.
Yeah.
His favorite part of the movie, I don't know if you guys remember, but it's when his first song was played on the radio and him and his roommate start freaking out and like throwing stuff. And like hitting each other. Like me and him just die laughing at that part. I did fast forward through some of the Madonna makeout scenes, but yeah, if you got an older kid and he knows some stuff and has a weird sense of humor, that's a very funny movie to watch.
My staff pick is Aqua Teen's Ray Dawn, a Matt Malero and Dave Willis from Aqua Teen Hunger Force short film that you can see on Matt Malero's YouTube channel.
I saw this today on YouTube. How old is this?
It's quite old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny. I thought it was weird and, right up their alley. It was good.
It longs for the wiener skins.
Yes.
I wondered why I never had seen anything about it before.
They probably have a ton of stuff like that they'll slowly put out. I like Matt's channel. I like that show that I was on, the Meat Kingdom.
Meat Kingdom.
Don't want a Meat Kingdom shirt. All right, thanks for the staff picks, everybody.
Hey, I'm back, Mr. Sam Elliott, and I want to talk to you about one of the places I like to go whenever I'm in the Atlanta area, called Atlanta Pizza and Euro, and they've proudly been serving the East Metro Atlanta area for over 40 years. Atlanta Pizza and Euro is a place to be this summer. I don't know if they have Coors. Coors is a banquet beer, but they are featuring 3 tavern breweries and Night on Ponce. That's an IPA, and it's now available on draft. Atlanta Pizza and Euro has the best gyros, pizzas, hot subs, and Greek and Italian specialties around. Family-owned and operated, independent restaurants are a dying breed. And Atlanta Pizza and Euro continue to be a local favorite, serving the east side of Atlanta for over 30 years. Hey, Mike's food truck is out and about, so if you see the food truck, run up. Contact Mike at 770-483-6228 if you're interested in booking the food truck for your corporate or private event. Tuesday nights, they got team trivia from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Bring your smartest friends and test your trivia knowledge against the best Conyers has to offer. Hey, they're open for dine-in or takeout, Monday through Friday from 11 to 9, Saturdays 12 to 9. They're closed on Sunday, which is Lord's Day, dude. Another fine sponsor of Radio Labyrinth is LDI Repro Printing. Do you have commercial or residential construction printing needs? Well, what are you waiting for? Contact LDI Repro Printing of Athens. They've been in Athens, Georgia since 2005 with fast turnaround and affordable prices. Call 706-316-9366 or email them at athens@ldiline.com.
Guys, are you reading the online comments?
Gotta read some of these comments.
I'm loving your guys' comments.
You're reading your own comments?
Yeah, they're really good. I worked hard on them.
The secret is don't read the comment card.
Let's read some YouTube and whatnot comments. From last week's show, Mike Hall says, excited for Spaceballs 2. I'm a huge Mel Brooks fan and really happy to see Rick Moranis return. So are we. Roby said a couple things that are all good. He said the most versatile line of all time and my favorite is As You Wish. And what is that from?
Princess
Bride.
That's right. And Ain't Gonna Fall for No Banana in a Tailpipe and Multipass. Those are all good. Jones said, good show, lifted my spirits, no longer on the pink chair depressed. Don't fuck with the babysitter was a line that resonates in my memory. Love, Jones.
I don't know what that movie's from. Do you guys know?
Yes, Adventures in Babysitting.
You're right. Adventures in Babysitting. We watched that too recently.
Mike Hall added, you're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Jaws.
Yep. Chris Knight posted on X and said, the movie quote I still use often is, you get to drink the fire hose.
That's it cracked me up when we saw that.
Yeah, from, yeah, that's great. That's from UHF.
Stanley's Playhouse.
Yeah.
And that was a character that he did on Fridays.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mike Hall sent me a message, and I'm going to say this. The AI radio station commercial reminded me of the old fake Cheech and Chong radio bits. Fake hilarious songs, subtext backstory that keeps getting deeper. Linda, you're onto something, man. Love it. Thank you. I enjoyed doing that one.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of sound effects. Took a while to make that one. And then with me with Sixies wanting $200 to come hang out with him at the radio.
I love the fact that you had to explain to her what a check was because she didn't know what a check was.
We had 2 polls last week. Are you actually excited for a Spaceballs sequel? Cautiously optimistic took the day with 53%. Hell yes, may the Schwartz be with me, 24%. Meh, it's 40 years too late. And don't reboot the classics, tied at third with 12%. Which Spaceballs quote lives rent-free in your head? The number one is, I'm surrounded by assholes, 56%. Tie for second place with, I see your Schwartz is as big as mine, and we ain't found shit. And sadly, I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin roommate in last place with 6%.
All right, this week on Text Impressions by Tim, we are going with Doctor Demento.
Oh boy, on a day when my voice is shot. Let's see what we can do here. Gather round, Dementites and Dementoids. Tonight's tale comes bubbling up from the moldy basement of musical mayhem. It's the toe-tapping, nose-crinkling, ghost-honking saga of a man, a smell, and one very cursed brass instrument. Here's Stinky McGee and the haunted tuba. Hee-hee!
Well, Stinky McGee was a janitor lad who smelled like a pickle left out by his dad. Found an old tuba in locker room 3. It tooted up poltergeist, costly and free. Toot-toot with the ghost in the brass. Blew out the windows and shattered the glass. Rattled the walls and stirred the fondue. Summoned the banshee in bowling shoes.
Hey, Dementites and Dementoids, strap into your seatbelts and hold on to your hot dogs because we have a sizzling surprise for you tonight. Straight out of the suburban wilderness of musical mayhem. It's the delightfully deranged duo, the Bruce Sisters. That's right, the summer sizzler you won't forget. Greasy and meaty. Here it is. There's a wiener in my armpit from the one and only Bruce Sisters.
There's a wiener in my armpit. There's a wiener in my armpit. There's a wiener in my armpit.
Well, my demented darlings, grab your gadgets and pucker up your processors, because I have got a techno-twisted toe tapper for you tonight. It is a tale as old as time. Boy meets bot, bot becomes babe, and before you can say terms and conditions apply, they're picking out digital drapes and debating baby names for their cloud-based children. So polish your hard drives and open wide that hard drive. Here comes Blue-Eyed AI.
I married my AI assistant. Now she's running all my days. She calls me user unit beta and deletes me from thin air. She told my mama I'm adopted, left my room until attack, and I swear she told the microwave I'm never coming back.
My weekly audio-only podcast in the Radio Labyrinth feed is called Trambles. You can find it this week. I don't know how long I'm going to keep doing the characters that I'm doing, but I'm having fun doing it. So I'm going to keep doing them until I'm no longer having fun. But this week we have a long beer commercial featuring Del Dump, and then Del sort of interviews. Well, he doesn't. Del takes a request from me with 6 E's. I do a radio show every Saturday on WSB called the Tim Andrews Popcast. My guest this week is Caleb Synan, who's been on this show before, and he has been on the Popcast before. He's coming to Atlanta from July 3rd to the 6th with a big extravaganza on the 4th at the Punchline. So check that out. And you can get all the podcasts wherever you find podcasts. Hey, you can support Radio Labyrinth by becoming a Radio Labyrinth Patreon member. Just go to patreon.com/Tim Andrews and find out how you can watch our live show every week, except for this week, Radio's in the Dark, and join in on the fun and help us come up with ideas. You can also help do text impressions by Tim. Just weigh in on that. Let Dustin and Jeff know if you're a Patreon member, and Lizzie if you have any ideas. We have new and updated tiers, so check it out. You can also become an executive producer. An executive producer is $25 a month, and you initially will get a t-shirt. I'll send you some drawings, and you can get all sorts of benefits. But most importantly, you are a producer of the show, and you get a credit each week. So thank you to John Allen, Matt Carter, Chris Chandler, Mike D., Jim Fortner, Roby Neely, Jeff Peterson, Tim Slayton, and Brian and Chelsea Smith. Remember to like, rate, and review us wherever you listen to us. And if you're on YouTube, comment. As a matter of fact, leave us a comment, some of your favorite novelty songs, some we didn't mention, things that you really like, or just, say hi. You can do that on the audio apps too. And remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the alert and all that stuff that YouTube people tell you to do. I guess if we don't have anything else to talk about, we'll just say, keep it canon.
What do you say all good things come to an end?
What's that got to do with this show?